This is what frustrates me about this team. You come back home after a road trip. You're going up against a Raptors team that is going into tonight having lost 9 of their last 10. They just recently traded away their best player, and 2 of their recent acquisitions in the OG Anunoby trade, and RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickley, were out for this game along with their starting center in Jakob Poeltl, and the Bulls didn't come ready to play. I get it, you're suffering from injuries as well. No Zach Lavine, no Patrick Williams, no Torrey Craig, and then Dalen Terry gets hurt in the middle of the game. Hope he's okay, by the way, because that did not look good, and he was clearly in a lot of pain. But regardless, the Bulls' injury woes, you have to come out ready to play like you're going up against one of the best teams in the NBA. And instead, they didn't bring the energy. They played down to their competition, as they usually do, and they let a shorthanded Raptors team outwork them in the second half. Bulls had as much as a 16-point lead in this game. They were up 10 at halftime, and they lose the game by 11. Absolutely unacceptable. From a team that is trying to make their way back up in the standings, an opportunity to work their way back up to 500 with a rebuilding Raptors team and a very bad Charlotte team tomorrow night, and they blow it. Turnovers killed the Bulls in this one. For a team that's been so good at taking care of the ball, they only had 4 turnovers the other night in Portland. Tonight, 17 turnovers for the Bulls. They forced a lot of turnovers to the Raptors, which was great. They had 19 in total, but the Bulls' inability to take care of the basketball and sloppy offense, compounded by the fact that they couldn't hit their threes again and let the Raptors torch them from deep because they weren't closing out, missing switches, and allowing the Raptors to move the ball all over the court. Like hell, the Raptors had 19 turnovers, but I'll take their 34 assists with 19 turnovers to the Bulls' 21 assists and 17 turnovers any day. Just a poor showing from the Bulls. And for a team that usually messes around the third quarter but then tightens things up in the fourth and they close out the games with defense, that definitely was not the case tonight. The Bulls didn't have a single field goal in the final 7 minutes of the game. 7 minutes without a field goal to close this one out, and they got outscored 28-18 in the fourth. Now, to be fair, with the Bulls not having Pat and Torrey Craig and having to go so small, especially against a bigger Raptors team, that obviously is going to impact their play. And to be honest, this is going to prove to be a problem until they get Pat or Torrey Craig back. Julian Phillips has been stepping up nicely, and I'll get to him in a little bit, but he is just a rookie that doesn't have many minutes under his belt, and even with Phillips, you just don't have enough size to match up against their opponent adequately. The good news is we did hear that Torrey Craig is progressing nicely and could be back as early as the game on Saturday against the Kings in Chicago, but even the game tomorrow against the Hornets, a very bad team, this lineup that the Bulls have going is going to be a problem with how limited you are on size. A few other things that I took issue with in this game. I thought Billy Donovan brought Coby White and Alex Caruso back into the game way too late in the fourth quarter. I think they came in around the 5-minute mark. This is, of course, when the Bulls were really struggling to generate any kind of offense outside of DeMar DeRozan. I know it's a lot of minutes for Alex Caruso, more than they like to usually give him, but this is a game you need to win. You need to be pulling out all the stops. And then Coby White, just an all-around quiet night for him. I mean, I know defenses are going at him differently. He's been much more heavily guarded than he has in his entire career, but Coby was a little too timid for my liking in this game. I feel like he was too hesitant to shoot threes because he had some bad nights recently shooting from behind the arc, but I need to see those shots fly. They'll eventually start falling. But tonight only took 10 shots, 1 for 4 from 3, 13.6 assists, just kind of an underwhelming game from Coby when you really needed his scoring in the final stretch of the game. Vucevic, same thing, underwhelming game when the Raptors are without their starting center, and he's going up against Thaddeus Young for most of the night. Like, this is a game where Vooch should be feasting in the paint like he did in that last one, and instead you had Vooch take 11 shots in total, and 5 of them were threes. He hit 2 of them, which is rare these days for Vooch, but why is Vooch settling for outside jumpers when he's got the advantage inside? Now, part of that is on the Bulls for not finding him in situations where he had his man sealed, but yeah, even for Vucevic, too passive on a lot of plays. Still finished with 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and then DeMar had a solid game. Disappointing finish as he himself struggled in the final 7 minutes, but again, that shouldn't all be on DeMar. Other guys need to step up and help out on the scoring front. DeMar actually tied his career high in blocks tonight with 4 blocks. He also had 3 steals as well. That's actually something I appreciate about DeMar in this game, is that he was getting after it defensively. He had a lot of deflections as well outside of just those 4 blocks and 3 steals. Also finished the game with 25 points, 8 for 17 shooting, 42 minutes tonight for DeMar DeRozan. A lot of mileage on his belt this season for a guy who's played over 1,000 games and is 34 years of age. Hope that doesn't come back to bite the Bulls eventually as we get near the end of the season. DeMar did have some bad turnovers tonight though, 5 in total, some of them just careless passes as well. But Ayo Dosunmu was the bright spot in this game. I just wish we would have seen more of that aggression in the fourth quarter. Ayo finished the game with 21 points, 8 for 11 shooting, the only player who shot the 3-ball well, going 4 for 5 from behind the arc. Ayo got out quick in a hurry in this game. It was knocking down a lot of shots while also getting after it defensively. Ayo has really perfected his ability to finish at the rim and get downhill so quickly that you almost feel like it's automatic when he gets out in transition. And then Julian Phillips, great minutes for him off the bench, stepping up nicely when the Bulls need it while they're shorthanded. 9 points in 20 minutes, knocked down a couple threes, had some nice drives to the hoop. I really like what I'm seeing from this kid, and it'll be nice to see him get more run, even though I wish it was because the Bulls weren't suffering from all these injuries. Speaking of injuries, no update as of yet on Dalen Terry, at least while I'm recording this anyway. As I'm sure most of you saw, Terry was trying to make a play in transition, had 3 guys trailing him and went down into the cameraman, and it looked like he twisted his ankle on the fall. I don't know how that play wasn't a foul, by the way, but whatever. Goes down hard, tried to get up, was clearly in a lot of pain, had to be helped off the court, wasn't able to put any weight on that leg. He did eventually return to the bench, which is a good sign, but did not return to the game, which is really unfortunate. One, because the Bulls are so short-handed as it is, but also for Terry, who has really started coming along nicely, getting into the rotation. The 2 plays he had tonight, driving to the basket and finishing with the Euro step under pressure and contested. I mean, you can tell he's really improved his control and handles in making those plays, where he was really sporadic in those situations like we saw during Summer League and last season. And so to have him go down just when he was getting his feet wet and having the game slow down for him is a big blow both for himself and for the Bulls. And hopefully it's nothing serious. My guess is he likely won't be in the game for tomorrow, maybe not even for this weekend, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, a very frustrating loss, especially when you had Atlanta win tonight, which now puts them only a game and a half behind the Bulls for 10th. Bulls are back to being 2.5 games behind the Magic and the Heat. The Bulls better win tomorrow night. Otherwise, you're going to get a serious rant video from me tomorrow. I don't care that it's a back-to-back. I don't care that LaMelo Ball is back in the lineup for the Hornets. This is a bad Hornets team, and they need to win. No excuses. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this game. Let me know in the comments. As always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.